Do you want to build a 7-figure Amazon business, but you're afraid that your product is going to fail and you're going to lose all your money? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can remove all risk of that ever happening by using a strategy I call the polling pipeline. Now, if you stay until the end of this video, I'm even going to show you my ranking forecast poll. And this poll is really cool because it's going to help you determine if your product is going to be successful on Amazon before having to buy any inventory. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is Max and I sold over $1 million of products on Amazon. I exited my business and I now work as a head of product development for an 8-figure Amazon aggregator based out of Singapore. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 polls that I run as part of my polling pipeline, and I'm going to show you exact specific examples for each one of these polls. But before I do any of this, you have to understand what I call the core problem. If you don't understand the core problem, then I believe your brand will fail to some degree no matter what. So the core problem is at the heart of your customers' emotional pain, and this is what causes them the desire and the drive to purchase a product to solve that problem. Now, I call this the core problem because it works just like a nuclear core. If you imagine a nuclear core just keeps producing energy as long as it's alive, and that's energy that you can harness as a marketer and as an Amazon seller. For example, I personally suffer from allergies and migraines, and that is a core problem that causes me a lot of pain in my life. And as long as I have this problem, I will keep being motivated by the emotional pain, and that will keep me spending money as a customer for products that can help me with my allergies and migraines. So once you're really clear on this core problem, then the next question is, how do you harness this emotional energy and turn it into millions of dollars for your brand? The answer to this question is you harness this energy by understanding deeply the emotional reality of your customer. Just like a nuclear scientist has to understand the science behind atoms at the most micro level before they can build something as powerful as a nuclear reactor. So you have to understand your customer's core problem deeply, but also their fears, desires, pains, frustrations, aspirations, what they've tried, what has failed, etc. So with that said, how do we get outside of our heads and we start getting inside the minds of our customer? One of the cheapest and easiest ways to do this is to use a polling software like PickFu. And that's because PickFu lets you quickly set up polls and target a specific customer demographic. The advantage is you can set it up and start getting feedback in a matter of hours. As a product developer, I personally spent thousands of dollars on PickFu alone, and I definitely encourage you to try it. If you're interested in setting up an account on PickFu, definitely click my affiliate link below to get 50% off your first poll. So the first poll in the polling pipeline is what I call the magic mechanism poll. The magic mechanism is the unique thing about your product that makes it work better than anything else available in the marketplace. So the core problem is what creates the emotional drive in your customer to solve that problem. And the magic mechanism is what channels that energy by making it so your customer perceives your product as the only viable solution to solve their problem. Now, it's much easier said than done. It's something that's very difficult to achieve, but it's something you should always strive for when you're creating a new product, is to have that magic mechanism. So now I'm going to show you an example of a magic mechanism poll that I ran a few years ago when I was launching one of my supplements brands. So the question that I recommend asking in this poll is something like this. Imagine that you are a person with a core problem. Which of these benefits would you most value in a product that would help you solve your core problem? So with this poll, I went in the marketplace and I listed all of the different mechanisms that I saw. And what I found was that people most valued a supplement that was recommended by doctor. And the second thing that they valued the most was a supplement that was very pure. And that made a lot of sense to me because my top aspirational competitor in the marketplace was Pure Encapsulations, and their branding was very medical and the name was Pure. And I think that's why they're able to charge such a high price for their products, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times more than one of the cheap competitors. Now, the second poll is what I call the nuclear name poll. I call this the nuclear name, which is a bit of a funny name, but I think it makes a lot of sense because what it does is it takes your core problem and it takes your magic mechanism and it turns it into a very powerful brand name. So for this poll, you come up with a list of your absolute best brand names and you stack them up against each other and against your competitor to see which name is the best. So for this example, I'm also going to use that same supplements brand that I started a few years ago. So I asked a simple question of, imagine you are this person with this core problem. Which brand would you most want to purchase to solve your core problem? So after spending many hours coming up with really good brand names, I was very happy to see that one of my brand names came up ahead of all the other brand names. So that's the name that I ended up picking for this brand. And to this day, I still think that this is one of the best brand names I ever came up with. So the third poll is what I call the competitor killer poll. Now this poll will tell you if your product has a higher perceived value than your competitor and how well it's going to do against your competitor in the marketplace. And so the cheapest way to run a poll like this is to come up with a 3D render of your product, which can then be done very cheaply, and then to poll your product against your competitor's main listing image. Now you want the two images to be very simple, and you want the images to only focus on the brand name and the general branding of the product, so that you can really test out these two elements against each other and not have too many conflicting or confusing variables in your poll. So continuing with the same supplements brand, once I had my name figured out, then I came up with a design and I tested this design against my top competitor, which was Pure Encapsulations at the time. And then the question, which was something along the lines of, imagine you are this person with this core problem. Which product would you be most likely to purchase? Please explain why. So I pulled the competitor design, which was Pure Encapsulations, against two of my best brand name ideas, each with their own unique bottle design. And so those two were 3D renders against the competitor main image. And I made sure that all of the elements on the products were the same aside from the graphic design and the brand name. So I ran the poll and I was very happy to see that my product came ahead of the competitor. And that's when I knew that my branding was on point. So now the fourth poll is what I call the ranking forecast poll. And this poll can help you predict ahead of time how well your product is going to rank on Amazon before you have to buy any inventory. So the idea is to present your product in the context of the search results on Amazon, including a title, some reviews, and the price. And then to compare that with other competitors that are currently in the marketplace, and then to see how your product positions itself in the poll. So for example, a few years ago, I ran this poll for one supplement that I was launching. I asked a similar question as the poll number 3, competitor killer, which was, imagine you are this person with this problem. Which product would you most want to purchase and why? So my product ended up ranking really well, right behind the top competitor, which was much cheaper, I think like a third of the price, and had much higher reviews. So that validated for me that even with low reviews and a higher price, my product could still do well in the search results. So that's it, guys. This is how you can use the polling pipeline and PickFu to develop your ideas into very powerful, very lethal offers on Amazon. And this is great because instead of risking thousands of dollars in inventory, you can validate your ideas for just a few $100s. So if you want to go ahead and set up an account on PickFu and get started with your first poll, definitely click the link down below and get 50% off your first poll on PickFu. I'll get a small commission out of it and it helps support this channel, so thank you for that. Now guys, if you want to learn more and you want to find out how I research product ideas, go watch my other video where I talk about the 3 product research mistakes that you need to avoid. If you want more videos like this on how to build powerful products and unbeatable brands, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.